Now it's Friday, so that means it's time to see what's been going on in the world of showbiz. First up, Jane McDonald was singing to that. An online poll has revealed the most iconic outfits of the last 50 years. The top three include Geri Halliwell's Union Jack dress, worn at the Brit Awards in 1997, Liz Hurley's safety pin Versace number that she wore for the 4 weddings and a funeral premiere, and Marilyn Monroe's white halter-neck frock, famously blown around in the 7-year itch. But do you agree with those findings, or are there other dresses that you can think of that are iconic?
Well, I think that the first two, the Geri Halliwell dress and the Liz Hurley dress, are... I don't think they're necessarily iconic. I just think they are the most famous, you know, the most photographed and most pictured dresses of their time. I think Marilyn Monroe's dress did actually inspire dresses like that. You know, I didn't see a lot of people walking around in safety pin dresses after Liz Hurley, but that was the kind of... it was pictured so much that it became so famous. It was just a famous dress. Yeah. But I think more importantly, something like a Chanel suit is something that is seriously iconic and is still around. And I think Coco Chanel designed that probably in about the 1920s or 30s. And, you know, people who buy them, they only need to buy one, and as long as you can still get into it. I know they cost a lot of money, you know, they're thousands of pounds, but they're just so beautiful.
Every year has had somebody in one, hasn't it? But for me, it would have been... in a sense, Mary Quant, because I was, you know, that was my time, the 60s. And I remember, you know, that whole A-line dress with the asymmetrical and her hair the way it was, and they were very, very short, and I could never wear them because I never had the pins for them, but, you know...
You've got great
Well, they've got better since I've got older, but it was weird to see everybody walking down the King's Road with these really, really short dresses on. It was amazing.
I suppose, you know, in terms of iconic dresses, you know, they talk about the Chanel one, you know, there's the Audrey Hepburn little black dress. I mean, she was the one who sort of... exactly, there you go, that picture there. Yeah. Or even Grace Kelly's wedding dress. You know, we sort of think about the princess look, but it kind of... I think it sort of started with her, really. It was such a graceful, elegant, beautiful look.
Well, you see, I like the curve. I like to celebrate women. I think the 50s were great, because it used to be really like Marilyn Monroe, Jane Russell. They had the just beautifully fitted suits.
Yes, that's the one.
Well, she's nearly got ready there. In fact, that does look like me on a good day.
Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah.
I have got a look of Jane Russell.
Did you notice what her hair looked like, though? Because Cheryl Cole, this might be a cliché, but she might be onto something, because during a recent interview she was asked whether she used beauty as a confidence trick, and she replied, well, you always feel good once you've sprayed your hair. The higher the hair, the closer to heaven. It's true. If I could have it higher, I would. Close quotation mark. But do you think that's true, Jane? Because, you know, you like having big hair.
I love big hair. And I know it sounds awful, but I actually miss the perm. I miss that big... I know! I really
still have them, you know.
Because there was always loads of hair, and I used to love that. It was like a mane. And obviously, sometimes, even on this show, but on my own concert tour, my hair has got its own postcode. It's that big.
Because I've had big.
I love big hair.
Your hair's so big.
Yeah.
And I don't actually trust people with really big hair.
Oh.
I don't. You know, well, because one of my favourite shows on telly is Nothing to Declare. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah.
It's about, you know, the Australian immigration and border controls they have. Yeah. Last night, I was watching it last night, or maybe it was the night before, and there was this woman on there, and she had really, really big hair. She had
like
a wig on.
Simpson hair.
Well, it was obviously a wig, and it was, like, red, and it was really high, and it didn't look quite right. And one of the officers said, there's something about her hair, there's something not quite right about her hair. And they went for a suitcase, like they do with the scanner, and they found traces of cocaine, and actually she had 2 kilos of cocaine hidden in her wig. She did! Honestly, so, you know, anyone with big hair, I'm like that. What you got in there? What's in there, Jane?
You know, but you know what she's saying, which I think is right. I think hair, as much as anything, if you're having a bad day, hair is one thing you really notice, and it can change what you look like in an instant. If it's flicking up when it should be turning under, when it's, you know, and if you're feeling a bit nervy and tense. If the hair's wrong, it becomes complete obsession. So hair, I think she's
right. That's so right.
And mascara. If you've got nothing else on, I think, and you're not feeling it, and that's all. Yes, and your mascara and you pop out. It's marvellous.
Just a bit of... No, I know what you mean about the hair. My mum was always pinning me down and perming my hair because it looks a wee bit lank. Your hair's looking awful lank. Finally, that means flat, by the way, for people who aren't Scottish. Finally, Simon Cowell revealed to Oprah Winfrey that he fears he's too old to have children at the age of 50. He also told the US chat show queen that he might not have the patience for a child unless, and I quote, they were born aged 5. But is Simon right? Carol?
No, they're much better when they're about 28, actually. I do think he's right, actually, because, you know, it's not that I dislike babies or children, but I do find babies a little bit boring. When someone shows you their baby, you go, yeah, it's a baby. What does it do? It doesn't do anything. It's not... You can't talk to it. You can't say it. You can go, cool, and that's it. You know, so I do think that kids are much more interesting when you can have a conversation with them. By the time, you know, they're sort of 4 or 5... Yes, I absolutely agree with Simon on that.
I've got to disagree, because our guitarist in the band, Steve, and his lovely wife, Carrie, they've just had Ruby. Ruby Cooper, she's called.
Name.
What a great name.
Oh, it's a good name.
She's 7 months old, and I swear I could have eaten her when I saw her. She was just gorgeous. And I just thought it was great, because she was looking up, she was looking round, she was interested, and she didn't have a conversation, and I quite like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't have to entertain her.
I didn't have to.
I've got a 3-year-old, and honestly, when they start talking, you don't want that, because you don't have a conversation. It's just, no, I won't.
You don't, because you have it all the time.
And that's Steve, her husband. The best time, I think, about a year, when they just love you and they just look up and they hold your finger and it's just love, it's overwhelming. And now, at 27 and 22, I can be seen chasing after my sons going, just hold my finger.
And they look behind them and they go... OK, we're taking our final break, but on our...